Hello and welcome. This is Punit here. My name is Punit Bhatia, and this is a unique occasion that I'm doing a live with my dear friend Nicola Fabianno. So, just for those of you who do not know me, I'm Punit Bhatia. I help people in simplifying privacy as a trainer, as a consultant, through online courses, trainings, and in person training. But these days we are in Corona, so no in person trainings or no in person consulting. And I have with my friend Nicola Fabiano, who is also an author of a book, and version 2 is releasing this week. And we were talking about in his holidays about some topics, and we said these topics are interesting for people. So this is a unique occasion in which we are talking about live. That's the first thing. I've never done a live on LinkedIn, and I have never done an interview based live only in YouTube. I've done some podcasts, but not a live. And for our friends in Italy, Buonasera, and that's the only Italian word which Nicola could tell me just 5 minutes before the interview. But thank you so much for being here. Welcome. I appreciate all of you being here. And Nicola, thanks for being here.
Hi, Punit. Thank you very much for this invitation. I appreciate it very much. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, everyone. Let me take the opportunity to greet people from San Marino and Italy in Italian. Buonasera a tutti, grazie di essere qui per coloro che stanno seguendo questo podcast, questo live streaming, scusate, sarà completamente in inglese e quindi ritorno all'inglese. Un saluto a tutti. I will do in Italian, I switch to English again.
Sure. Thanks, Nicola. For those of you who don't know Nicola, Nicola is the president of San Marino's Data Protection Authority, and he's Italian lawyer, and he's based in Italy. So that's why we have the Italian colleagues and a little bit of talk in Italian. But thank you everyone for joining us, those from Italy and for everywhere else. And good evening to everyone, and good morning, good where from wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, and good night if you're late in the evening. So, Nicola, if I may ask, can you tell me something about this book to start with? What's the idea behind this book? Because now you're releasing the international version of it, and earlier it was an Italian version. So, what's this book all about? Because I saw there's a forward from Giovanni Butrelli, there's also from Wojtek. So, this is some book that everyone should read.
Oh, thank you very much. This is the second edition of my book that was published last year in the first edition, but only in Italian. This year, I worked on this new second edition, working on two different editions: the international edition in English and the Italian edition. I worked very hard to finalize this work because uh, we I touched several topics related to data protection and mainly the this new approach named this is a new model to approach data protection and privacy that I named the data protection and privacy relationships model. Its acronym is DAPPREMO.
Hmm.
And so there are several news in this new edition. Uh, is its content is very broad. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But we were having some interesting conversation on some topics, and if I may, so and we talk about privacy being a law or privacy laws, and then there are engineers who get into privacy and they want to make mathematical correlations, and then they want to have relationships. And you often talk about that in your book, or you have a mathematical or a model in which privacy can be reviewed or viewed from a mathematical perspective. Can you talk something about that?
Yes, this model is based on high mathematics, and but it's necessary a premise. Some years ago, I started thinking about the relationships between mathematics and law, and in that phase, I realized how it was necessary to deepen the subject, beginning to try the correct relationship regarding mathematics and data protection. Uh, One of the main subjects I presented and present during my lessons on data protection is differential privacy, which is expressed by a mathematical formula.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that all of this demonstrates the relevance of mathematics in every context, even in the data protection one. Turning around and around the subject in the last year, um, finally I realized what is the key to the relationship, what the key to the relationships was. Because if we analyze the reality, just as when we use the glasses for virtual reality or the 3D glasses to see some movies, we understand that there are several entities around us, but we we don't see them. Um, we are blind, but we have to learn from blind people. In our reality, we see only objects ahead of us, just like horses. And briefly, in my view, there are a lot of entities which usually we do not see, but they are incredibly relevant to achieve a goal. I think that it's a matter of approach, and we should be open minded. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand all over the data protection and privacy subject. We will be able to understand a part only, but not the whole. Uh, in my view, this is the path to the correct approach. Now, if we consider all the objects connected among them, we go up another step, and analyzing the relationships, we continue going up or ahead till the final step.
Yeah.
I know, I perfectly know that saying it so, it might be not very clear and also challenging to understand the kind of relationships. I described all the related topics in my last book, where I talk about this model in a separate chapter because of it's quite complicated. It's based, I repeat, on high mathematics, and the concept you have to consider set theory and high mathematics to understand the fiber bundle is an high mathematic model to use, which I used in my analysis. So this is a very briefly, generally speaking, what is the topic, but it's interesting to deepen it. Reading this chapter, I think that could be interesting to deepen this topic.
For sure. And you also mentioned about neuroscience and data protection. Now, that's something people don't think of. We talk about data protection when we are sharing data in social media context or giving it to companies, but in neuroscience and the correlation with data protection. So, what's your view on that? And is that also being touched in the book?
Yes, let me say uh, I want to say that The previous edition of this book contained the foreword of Giovanni Buttarelli,
Yeah.
and this new edition contained the foreword of Wojciech Wierowski, and I am honored for the foreword he wrote. Um, Neuroscience. Neuroscience is also a very complex topic, and I think that it represents one of the new challenges, because at the end of this book, I wrote a chapter, and the final chapter that is entitled "Where Are We Going?" And in this chapter, I describe some of challenges we are faced on, and I think that neuroscience is one of that topic that we should consider in our work, and uh, mainly for people that deal with data protection and privacy. So coming back to this topic, I think that it's one of the new challenges for to deepen, because if we don't know precisely the real impact of the most innovative technologies used in the neuroscience and neurobioscience, I think that all of us know the experiment of Elon Musk on some animals, analyzing the the behavior, and I think that if these high technologies, if scientists use these high technologies on humans, it will be it's necessary to to deepen this topic, because of the relationship with data protection and privacy effects. So undoubtedly, we can imagine the kind of effects on data protection and privacy anyway. We know that scientists are using the most innovative and high technologies, such as artificial intelligence, robotics, etc., in neuroscience and neurobioscience, um, putting much effort into studying also the effects, and so the reactions, especially on humans. Um, sure, we cannot disregard ethics and humans' dignity, high values belonging to humans, and in the same time, we should have a comprehensive view of data protection and privacy, but not related uniquely to the legislation, but suitable to employ an open-minded approach to consider any possible linked scenario. I present my view on this issue in the last chapter of my book, as I said, with and I consider in this chapter uh, I can discuss in terms of neuro privacy rights, and
Mm-hmm.
this is my provocation. Are we dealing with a new category of rights? Because scientists told several times that we are discuss in terms of we have to discuss in terms of neuroscience rights. But if we want to deal with data protection and privacy, what can we do? We have to discuss in terms of rights, data subject rights, and so I create this new expression, neuroprivacy, neuro privacy rights. So to describe the entire phenomenon around the neuroscience and neurobioscience field.
Sure. And one thing that has changed in last few weeks in data privacy, or at least being talked about that it will change the face of it, is data transfers. Because in view of the SCOUNS 2 ruling that we had in mid of July, some people are talking about that data transfers are going to change, and some are worried what to do, and some views are like this is being the government transferring the ownership to private companies while they are not able to agree on an adequacy decision. But have you touched upon this topic or talked about this topic a little bit?
Sure. Also in the previous edition of the book, I talked about transferring data, and
Yeah.
I I discuss again. I describe again this topic in this new edition. Transferring data is a very relevant topic, but the news is the decision of the Court of Justice, um, that which is in its judgment declared invalid decision of the European Commission, the adequacy decision on the most famous privacy shield. And we know the case as Schrems 2, and I describe in this chapter what are the effects of this sentence, what are the current solutions. um, I think that on this topic, however, there was an intervention of the European Data Protection Board, two interventions of the European Data Protection Board, and this point is very relevant because the focus is precisely whether the law of the third country of destination guarantees adequate protection in the light of EU law of the personal data transfer. And we have the GDPR. We have two articles in the GDPR that we can use to achieve to address correctly transferring data outside Europe. And I think that we can see Article 46 and Article 49 and follow the FAQ of the European Data Protection Board and other documents issued in the last weeks, such as the joint statement by Alessandra Pierucci, chair of the Committee of Convention 108, and Jean-Philippe Walter, Data Protection Commissioner of the Council of Europe. We have documents and instruments to work on it. So I think that we can find the correct instruments to useful to work. Um, Also, it's a matter of study. We have to study to understand better what is the correct situation, the correct case, to have a final vision of the case, and so choose the correct instrument as norm and as the soft law document as support to solve the case or to address the case.
So essentially, use the different articles and rely on the relevance case by case basis.
Yes, it depends on it depends on the case, and it depends on the main topic is to guarantee the adequate protection in the country, in the third country of destination. This is the key. And so we have two norms, and we have also some documents of institutional documents of the European Data Protection Board, basically of the European Data Protection Board, and we can use that document to uh, as uh, as to our document that help us to address. So it's not difficult, but we have to know all the regulation, and also soft law, as this document I mentioned.
Right. And then this leads to another topic which is very close, that's called data sovereignty. Because some experts or so called experts believe that by doing restrictions or by putting restrictions on data transfers, some countries or some continents or some laws are promoting data sovereignty more and more. Is that the case, or what's your view on data sovereignty?
Oh, this is another relevant topics, because briefly, I believe that we usually we talk about digital sovereignty also, basically to refer um, to the power of of a state. So we refer to digital sovereignty to when we want to refer to cyberspace, the cyberspace of that of a single state. I think that we can discuss in terms of digital sovereignty also, but not only to describe the power of the state, but also to analyze the situation of the measures. I mean, Google, Apple, and other Facebook, and so on, because they um, express a digital sovereignty uh, inside and outside the company. So I think that we should pay attention to this expression, digital sovereignty, because I think that in the book I describe all the path to address, and so to support my view. But briefly, I think that this expression of digital sovereignty is not limited to the cyberspace or to the power of a state. I think that we should consider this expression also to describe a typical situation in the majors, in some companies, relevant companies, when this company, one of these or all of these work or works to impose their power. Everybody knows what happens. uh, Google or Apple or other. I hope to do not uh, sue after this conversation by them, but I think that it's so analyzing the situation. I see a digital sovereignty uh, belonging to a company or a group of companies. So this is my vision. It needs to explain more in details, but I hope that someone wants to read my book to understand better this topic.
Absolutely. I think that's a very interesting opinion, and that makes me curious that I have to read this tomorrow. This one first before I read other chapters. So, I think in essence of time, I would say, Gracio, Nicola, thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you.
for those of you who are listening, this was about the book GDPR and Privacy Awareness and Opportunities, the version 2 of which is coming this week, and you can buy it from any of the online bookstores. And Nicola Fabiano has written it. Previous version was in Italian, and now it's also available in English starting this week, sometime tomorrow or later in the week. So do grab a copy, do take it, and it's worth a read. Uh, and I can tell you, if you have joined this talk, you would have been fascinated by the talk or the topics we just touched. But there are chapters on each of those topics. So do grab a copy and enjoy it. And thank you so much, Nicola, and for everyone else who joined. Yeah, Nicola, you were about to say something.
Thank you, Punit. I didn't pay before this session for the book, for the promotion of the book. I didn't pay, but I want to greet again people from San Marino in Italy. Buonasera, grazie di aver partecipato a questa sessione. Un caloroso saluto a tutti.
So
Thank you.
thank you everyone. Thanks for joining us. Whether it's morning for you, afternoon, evening, or if you're watching it recorded, thank you so much for watching it. We will also post it on the Fit for Privacy podcast as a special episode. And thank you, Nicola. Have a good evening and enjoy. Thanks everyone.
You
Have a good
too.
day.